Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today I want to share with you some information about giving birth in Chile. Why am I talking about it now? Because it's getting more and more popular each year for people to come and give birth in Chile and then go back to their country. Why? Well, Chilean passport is extremely good.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about giving birth in Chile, honey. Chilean passport is extremely good. If you have a Chilean passport, you can go to more than 100 countries without any visa required, and you can stay there for a pretty long time. And if you're coming to Chile having a long-term visa, your child being born here gets Chilean passport automatically, obviously if you go and register him or her. Plus, right now having especially for Russians, Ukrainians, Belarusians, having any passport other than their own is a very big advantage, and that's what they want to give for their kids. Plus, when you go give birth in Chile, it's way cheaper than, for example, if you're gonna go to USA or Canada. So first things first, if you're coming to Chile as a tourist and you're pregnant and you give birth here, obviously nobody's gonna tell you that, like, no, we're not gonna help you. Yes, they will. You can give birth here if it happens. The other thing is that if you have a tourist visa or a short-term visa, you won't be getting a Chilean nationality for your child. Before, it was possible to get a Chilean passport for your kid, even if you're a tourist. But since April last year, it's not possible anymore. It's in the new immigration law. However, there are cases when people come in here as tourists, giving birth, and their child has Chilean passport anyway. But this is not according to law, and these are more exceptions than a rule. Just that in some migration centers, people still work based on the old laws, or they just don't know about the new one. It happens here in Chile sometimes. So it's more of an exception, and there are a lot of cases when people later come to their own embassies and argue, like, why I came here, I gave birth, and my child didn't receive a Chilean nationality. Why? What happened? Well, yeah, that's the law. So in order for your child to get a Chilean nationality, you're gonna need a long-term visa. This can be a special visa for pregnant ladies. Yeah, it doesn't apply for husbands or partners, only for the woman, and it's about a year long. Then you can get a visa that is going to be like for work or for study or any other long-term visa. If you don't have a long-term visa but one of the parents is Chilean, then of course your child will get a Chilean nationality and you can be here even as a tourist. That's, for example, what happened with me and my first child. I came here, I have a Chilean husband, but I only had a tourist visa at that time, and my child still received Chilean nationality. Be aware that when you get a Chilean citizenship for your child will receive the name based on Chilean laws, obviously. So it's going to be 2 names, 2 surnames. And surnames are going to be one mother's, one father's. Okay, so it's going to be 2 surnames, even if it's the same. For example, I know that in US, in Canada, in a lot of countries in Europe, in Russia, people, when they get married, women, they often get the surname of their husband. So, the whole family, man, woman, and their children, they all go by the same surname. In Chile, it's not like that. If you are married, you still keep your own surname, and you get a surname from your mom and from your dad. So then when your child is born, he's getting one surname from you, one from your partner. And in this case, if you're getting a Chilean citizenship for your child, they're gonna write down the same surname twice if you and your husband have the same surname. You can give birth here for free, or it can be in a private clinic. If you're doing it for free, it's government hospitals, but the quality of service there is not the best. You're obviously gonna be not alone in the room after you give birth to your child, and the doctors, the nurses are not the best ones you can find, and they're only going to be speaking Spanish. It's very rare to find a doctor speaking English in a free clinic. However, if you go to a private clinic, the level of the service, of the qualifications of the doctors and the medical personnel is way higher there. Of course, you're gonna have to pay a lot of money because the insurance, even if you have insurance in Chile is going to cover only some part of it, but the level is higher. You get your own private room after you give birth to a child. Plus, most of the doctors, they got some practice in US, so most of them will be speaking English even if you don't speak Spanish, which is also a great plus, especially if you come here only to give birth to your child. How much does it cost if you're gonna do it in a private clinic? Well, as I have already mentioned, the health insurance, even the Chilean health insurance, covers not everything. It covers about like 20-30%. If you're lucky, sometimes a little bit more. In some cases, it can cover up to 80%, but you still have a lot to pay. Also, the price depends if you're having a C-section or natural birth, and if you're having some complications during the childbirth, and if you're using the epidural. So when I gave birth to my child, it was a natural birth and no complications, thank God. And I stayed there for 2 days. So this is like the normal practice. You stay for 48 hours so that they can check on you and your baby. But even if you're feeling okay, you're still gonna have to stay there for 48 hours. This is mostly for your baby, so that they can check that the baby's fine, it's not getting yellow, latching well for lactation if you prefer to do so, and so on. So for this stay in private room with the epidural, of course, it cost us 4 million Chilean pesos, both for me and for the baby. Yeah, because they're gonna send you 2 different checks, which is gonna be one for you, one for the baby after the baby was born. Of course, the most expensive part is you, not the baby. I will share the video of my room as well. I think it's gonna be in shorts, so keep an eye on it. And what else? I gotta say that I had 2 different experiences with a childbirth. One wasn't that good, the other one was so much better. I think I'm gonna share them in another video because this one is already getting a little bit too long. So let me tell you a little bit more about the prices. If it's in the private clinic, then the one visit to doctor will cost about 30,000 pesos. Plus you have to do all the exams. The echoes will be about 35,000 pesos. The Doppler that you have to do 3 times during your pregnancy are gonna be way expensive, about 80,000 pesos. So, pregnancy and childbirth here are pretty expensive. But if you know the doctor, then it's totally fine, it's totally worth it. I will write the name of the doctor and the clinic where I gave birth in the description of the video, so you have some reference if you decide to come here to Chile to give birth. There are some things that I need to mention if you're gonna give birth here in Chile. First of all, if you're having a baby girl, you're gonna be offered earrings as soon as the baby is born. It's extremely popular here and they get super surprised if you say no to this common practice. So don't be surprised if after you give birth somebody's gonna come and say, okay, so when are we gonna put the earrings on? Yeah, don't be surprised, and you can easily say no if you want to. In the clinic they also offer you to get a photo session for you and your baby. It can be just the baby, it can be both of you, it can be the whole family. I didn't take it, so I don't know if it's good or bad, but it's also a very common practice that they offer it to you. And one thing that I find extremely annoying is that C-section is very popular here. So for example, if you are 40 weeks pregnant, so you are like on your due date or a little bit past your due date, the doctor will say, well, this is your due date, the baby is not here, so let's do a C-section. Or if the doctor says, well, next week I have vacation, so let's do a C-section this week. They are super chill about C-section. They do it left and right if they want to have the baby on the specific date. If they don't want to risk having the natural birth, you're going to be offered a C-section. And a couple more things that you need to know. During your pregnancy, you will most probably have 2 more people that you're going to talk to. 2 more medical personnel, which is going to be a matrona and a nutritionist. Nutritionist is most probably if you have some issues with the weight gain, you don't gain enough or gain too much, according to your doctor, so you can get a consult. And who is matrona? Because this is pretty unique for Chile. This is a person who is like a nurse, And this is going to be a first contact when you're giving birth, and she will be there during your childbirth before the doctor comes. So every doctor has his own personal matrona, and they give you her contact. You go for a checkup, so to see like the heartbeat of a baby, everything is fine, and then she will give you the list of documents, the list of things that you need to get with you to the hospital for a childbirth. You have her phone number, so during your pregnancy or after the child is born and you're already at home, if you have any questions, if you have any doubts, you can always call her, write her, and you will get a consult 24/7 basically. So for example, you're going into labor, you start having contractions, you go and call Matrona and you say, hi, I'm having contractions that are like these minutes apart, and she's telling you whether to go to the hospital already or no, and she will be the one to meet you there. Make sure that these people, the Matrona and the doctor, are the people you trust, the people you like, and the people you feel comfortable with, to have a really good and safe childbirth experience. And another thing, how to get place in the hospital if it's not an emergency, if you know where you're going to give birth, then you need to send all your documents there, and you get the approximate amount, how much is it going to cost for you to give birth there. You sign the papers, and then all you need to do when you come already to have your baby, you just sign some papers. You get your partner most probably to go there, fill in some documents, put a couple of signatures, you give your contact information, and you're good to go. Normally you will not get billed right after having a baby. You will receive this information by email, and they will most probably call you also to say that your bill is ready, and there you will find out the exact amount that you need to pay and the link where you can pay it. So the process in general is pretty easy. If you want to hear my personal experience, then definitely write me in the comments, and I will make a video about 2 of my births that I had here in Chile, because both of my children were born here. So yeah, definitely write me if you want to hear about it. And if you have any more questions left about giving birth in Chile, also write me in the comments. I will answer all of them. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time.